know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it in back bay. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it turnpike miles. Yeah, it's Buku signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal, yeah, I battle through these.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy Jan Ludis, and today we have an incredible guest, a very empowering guest for that matter. We have Jamie Gorrono, and she brings the positivity and the energy that I've already seen. Guys, she is a women's empowerment coach who has been helping her clients through life's transitions, connecting them with themselves on a deeper level, as well as helping them with the feelings of unworthiness that tend to creep in at times for all of us. I know we've all experienced that. And today, we wanted to dive into this to bring you an empowering message. So, Jamie, I thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. That was an exciting introduction. I appreciate it. That was awesome. I'm empowered now.
There we go. All right. Let's just keep it going then for the video. But so you're a women's empowerment coach. How did that come about? Let's start with that.
I think that it's just my transition. So I grew up in a very family that was very hardworking, and there was about the grind, and we just did what we had to do. And so I learned all these things like, not to look at happiness so much and just really work to provide for a family. So as I went through life, I had that in my mindset that happiness was a caveat. That wasn't something that we strive. We just strive to pay the bills and do things of that nature. So I started to get in jobs that I really didn't enjoy that much. So I was a probation officer for 12 years, and I learned a lot of really amazing things, but I just wasn't fulfilled. And then I switched to another job and wasn't fulfilled. And I thought, it's my job to make myself happy. And so I really took a look at what my passions were and started to kind of do a lot of inner work as well as outer work, a lot more learning, and kind of shifted into the coaching and haven't looked back. And I'm super excited, and I just can't wait to see what's going to come up.
I like that. I love that origin story for that matter, because it truly shows, you're helping people with what you've been through. And I think that's what a lot of clientele that I think we both get to see, they're looking for that. Like anyone can kind of put themselves on a piece of paper, but when you've walked the walk, you can talk the talk and help someone through what they need to go through. And that's exactly what you've been through, which is huge.
Yeah. And I mean, if you have to relate to people, and people want to share experiences with people that have compassion and know where they're coming from. And we've all had periods in our lives where we've had transition and not known exactly what we want to do and want to be more fulfilled. And so to be open and honest about that and just kind of encourage that there's more out there. Everyone can relate. I haven't met anyone who doesn't say, wow, like I exactly know what you're talking about.
That's huge. I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect. So with being a women's empowerment coach, give us some examples. What are these women coming to you with, as much as we kind of just went over in the intro, from your own perspective? How are they coming to you? How are you helping them?
So they're coming to me, and they're coming to me with kind of a sense of lost or longing. They're looking for happiness. They're looking for fulfillment. Some of them are angry and feel grief because they realize they're at a certain point in their life, and they look back and they're like, wow, did I waste all this time? I made decisions that if I could go back, I wouldn't make again. And then there's that fear that, I'm in midlife and what do I do now? Can I make changes? Is it too late? So the women are coming to me just looking for some guidance, some support. And when I meet with these women, what I do is I just encourage them that they are still the creators of their life. And more specifically, we take a look at what's holding them back, because there's always that fear-based or destructive core beliefs is something that we really take a look at, which are beliefs that they're in your bones, they're in your cells. And these beliefs come as you go through life and you're faced with difficult situations. And innately, your body takes on the trauma response and you hold on to those. So it's really important to take a look at what's holding you back. And then try to make new beliefs or tell a story that's different, because we all tell ourselves stories and most of them aren't true. And
Mhm.
that's what's holding us back. And so just kind of giving yourself love and grace and understanding is a really big part of the empowerment process. And it's really about self exploration. So
Mm.
being open minded, my ideal client is open minded. They're willing to do anything. They're willing to take a look at themselves and hear things that might be uncomfortable, ask questions, and truly just kind of stretch themselves in a manner they've never stretched themselves before.
Yeah, I completely resonate with that. And I
Yeah.
think that truly is the best client, someone that can come to
Yes.
us and they're open, but they're ready to learn.
Yes.
They know that they've done what they've done to get to where they are in life, and they're ready for a change, and they're ready for a more empowering version of themselves, which you bring to people. And when you were going over everything that you bring to the table right there, and when a client comes to you, two pieces resonate with me. One is the fulfillment piece, because that's something I bring to my clientels as well. But also, if you think about it, fulfillment is on every single level. No matter what problem someone comes to you, no matter if someone doesn't have a problem and they're just trying to find guidance into the next stage for themselves,
Yeah.
fulfillment comes in every area, whether it's anxiety, depression, anger. It's a lack of fulfillment in some need. So for you to bring that to people, you're really helping them on such a deep level, which you just kind of went into for us. And then the other piece I think transitions so well is you help people with their limiting beliefs. And limiting
Yes.
beliefs are so huge in every single person, and 90% of the world does not realize it. So,
Right.
on that idea, how do you kind of help someone see, hey, you've had this limiting belief for so long? Or like, how do they pop up to you? Are they simple, basic, and people don't realize it? Or is there some intrinsic work that needs to happen?
Well, that's good. And I just want to step back a bit. You just to kind of point out that you don't necessarily have a problem to
Mhm.
want to go into coaching. So, and I've had women say that, well, I don't really have a problem. And that's wonderful. That's great. But do you have the yearning to explore more and to
Mhm.
see what else is in there, what's in your core? And do you have the time and the willingness to do it? So one thing that I really focus on with the women is that it's their turn, because so many times in their life they've been parenting, they've been taking care of others, they're trying to build their career because they're very career driven. And so taking care of themselves, and I don't mean by doing a manicure or a pedicure, I mean really taking care of themselves. Some of them don't even know how to do that, because that is a skill that you learn. It's
Mhm.
something that you have to experience, and it's something that you have to figure out on your own. So um, there's just so much wonderful things that can come with this self exploration, that a problem doesn't necessarily have to be present for you to gain just an immense amount of growth.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm sorry, and I as I went on that tangent, I forgot the question that you asked me.
No worries at all. You kind
Sorry.
of answered it in itself right there. But you mentioned also these limiting beliefs, and
Oh yes.
I kind you kind of tied it in right there where there's problem. Just thinking that you have a
Yeah.
problem is a limiting belief in
Yeah.
itself. So how
Right.
do you kind of help people with these limiting beliefs? Do you kind of hone right in on it, or is there some intrinsic work that needs to happen so they can really see like, wow, I've been believing this, for that matter, a lie for so long that hasn't been true about myself for forever. How do you kind of help them with that?
Well, I think a good place to start would be an activity that I often honestly say is like, if you could build your perfect world, what would it look like?
Mm,
And that means taking yourself out of the box. So taking away your labels. I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. I'm a business owner. So we all put labels on ourselves, and that limit what we think our potential is. So if we remove those labels, asking someone, sky's the limit. What does your perfect world look like? What does your perfect life look like? And really have them kind of just like think outside the box,
mm,
and then really look at, well, why are these not possible? Let's really sit down and think about why they're not possible. And a lot of times when that comes, those beliefs kind of pop up. Those, well, I can't do that because, or I've
mhm.
never tried that because. And then it's kind of, well, how often does that belief come up? Further, where does that belief come from? What experiences have you had?
Mm,
So I think that has been one of the easiest ways, because a lot of times people don't know offhand what their limiting beliefs are, but we all have them.
True.
Yeah.
I very much like that. And I agree with that so much because it's also a strength-based approach too, because when you're trying to
Yeah.
identify these pieces and you may realize like, well, I can't do this because of that, or whatever belief that
Yes.
stems from, or that label. I get to work in the psych field and the therapeutic field just as much as I do coaching. And in
Uh-huh.
therapy, I get upset when diagnoses come out, because a lot of people take a diagnosis as the label and then they completely cap off the rest of their growth. And I'm
Right.
sitting there like, we took a strength-based approach, and rather than telling someone, oh, you have depression at such a young age, 'cause I have to work with teenagers at a young age, if we tell a kid they have depression, the negativity caps them off to where it takes a lot more for them to see so much more for themselves because of that one limiting belief. But with what you
Yes.
do, you take a strengths-based approach to these women where this is your limiting belief, but you bring so much more to the table in so many ways. Let's uncover that. And that's, I think, in my opinion, is when the limiting belief starts to kind of fizzle out, for that matter. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think coaching, the people who choose to be coached are really signing on for a lot of work because, as you know, I'm not providing therapy, I'm not providing diagnosis, but I'm challenging, I'm asking questions, I'm reflecting. And the expectation is that when you're doing this, you're all in and
Yeah.
you're committed to yourself, not to me. You're committed to yourself and you really want to grow. So it can be uncomfortable at times and
Yep.
scary, and those are all really good things because the uncomfortableness and the fear that brings in our life is often what helps us grow the most. So
Mm.
um, those natural feelings, obviously, once you kind of break through,
Yep.
it's kind of like, oh wow, this is amazing. Like I can totally do this. And I just want people to believe in general. And I love women just because I'm a woman myself and I've had so many experiences, is that their potential is infinite.
Yeah.
Anything that you want, you can make. And any life you want, you can make. And it's all about mindset.
Mhm.
It's about the way you perceive things, and it's about the thoughts that you tell yourself. Those are so important. And
Mhm.
just kind of reiterating that, I think, is a big part to my process in my program.
Yeah. Very true. That's where the empowering piece comes from. And I
Yes,
think
absolutely.
more and more people need it. And you made such a key point right there as well, where in coaching, it's not necessarily therapy, but, and I know I'm biased because I'm a coach, but, and also, no, I can't be biased. I've worked in the therapy field too. But, you know, as a coach, a lot of people look at it as a therapeutic approach because we can unpack your past, which, as we said, we go over beliefs, try to figure out why
Uh-huh.
they're there. But the beauty of being a coach, and why having a coach in your corner is incredible, and why having Jamie in your corner is incredible,
Mhm.
is because a coach is, yes, we can sit there and unpack your past, but we don't just stay there. We don't try and help you live with it. We're going to
Yeah.
take it, use it to your advantage, and help you take action to become something more. And I believe that every experience we've had, yes, they can become limiting, or labels, or beliefs for that matter, but it has such a beauty and a gift behind every experience that you can use for the next person in life, or the next stage of your life. And I feel you take that kind of same approach, where it's an action based aspect when we get a client. So when your clients come to you, do you kind of explain that to them, like, hey, this is an action based, as you've gone over? Or like, how do you approach people if someone watches this video right now, like, oh, I gotta look Jamie up, I want to work with her, or anyone, how can they come to you? What do they bring? How do you kind of take that first step?
Well, if somebody wanted to work with me, obviously I'd want to meet with them
Mhm.
one on one and see if we're a good fit and make sure that we both know what the expectations are.
Mhm.
And I just want to help people. And so if I can't do it, maybe I can refer you to somebody who can.
Mhm.
So that first introduction is just kind of getting to know each other, see if our energies match,
Mhm.
if someone feels comfortable with me, because you have to trust your coach. You have to trust that they're going to take care of your emotions, your thoughts, that they're going to show compassion. And you can usually feel that through the interaction. So that would obviously be the first step. And
Definitely.
then just kind of explaining, what the expectations are and how I can help. And then also asking, what are your expectations of me? Because I do have a program, but I also do a lot of individualized things. So people are very different and it's not cookie cutter.
Mm,
And so I'll often send text more to one client than the other because they may be going through a hard time or they need a little more nurturing. And I'm aware of that. And I just want to be in their corner. Like, I'm your number one fan,
yeah.
and that's just what I'm there to do. And I totally believe that anyone can do what they put their mind to. So
Yep.
um, I'm a big believer in connection, and I know that, if it's a right fit, then it's a right fit, and if it's not, that's okay.
Yeah.
Just, I hope that everyone gets what they need and continue to grow as human beings.
Exactly. No, exactly. And that's incredible, because if they come to you, you can bring something to the table, but if it isn't the right fit, you're willing to just be as you would as a coach,
Yep.
guide them to who will help them, you know?
Right.
So anyone that comes to you is going to get something from it, which is beautiful. Um,
Yes.
there's a piece that you bring to the table that I want to dive into a little bit more, and it's to help people connect with themselves more. And as much as we went over empowering pieces and understanding the limiting beliefs, how deep do you go with helping someone figure out their higher self or their true self, for that matter?
Well, that's a good question, and it can be a very slow process, but I think it's about listening,
Mm,
being quiet. Um, I worked with a client who was feeling some ailments and went to doctors and couldn't figure out what was wrong. And she said, I think this is an emotional thing. I think it's tied somewhere. I don't know that it's an actual physical problem. And I'm like, what? Fantastic. Let's lean into that. Listen to what your body is saying, what your heart is saying. Or have you, she did say, I said, are you angry with your body? And she said, yeah, I'm mad at it. I'm mad that it's not working the way I want to. And it's like, well, how can we shift that perspective and really show love to your body
mm,
and just say, thank you. What do you need right now? How can I help you?
yeah.
Instead of, fighting all the time. And so I think just taking little opportunities as we move within our sessions to reframe things and to put a different perspective on it kind of helps kind of regenerate the way your thought process works. And then people start to understand self-care and understanding themselves better.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. And like you said, we're rewiring the mind, for that matter,
Yes.
because we've been living one way for so long, and we have these
Mhm.
habits and patterns. But just as your client said, something was wrong with her body. She
Yeah.
feels that it's emotional rather than physical. That's like, I love the direction you gave. So I want people to truly grasp this. You know your body more than anyone. Any
Yes.
doctor that you go to, you have more in touch with your body than the doctor you're going to has. And that throws a lot of people off. But just as Jamie just guided her clients, you know, what is your body telling you? What do you need? And it led to self-care, which in this day and age, no one knows how to do that, sadly. Right? But I love your guidance that you bring to people. And it kind of sounds more as well spiritual or meditative approach too, because when you truly get in touch with yourself, that's when that door kind of opens up, where you realize more about what you need. You realize what's going to empower you. You realize if you need to stop yourself or give yourself self-care time. So do you take any meditation into any of this stuff?
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I just wanted to share with your viewers that a big turning point for me was my Achilles snapped on me, and during that time, I've always been very conscientious, about taking care of my outer. So the food I eat, my exercise has always been very intense, and so that to me was me taking care of myself. The old me thought that,
Okay.
and my Achilles snapped, and I knew immediately that not only was my body trying to tell me something, but the universe was trying to tell me something. And so here I sat, laid up, not able to do anything I used to do. And I thought, I have two options. I can sit here and feel sorry for myself and be angry and say, why me? Or I can really do some inner work and know that this was for a purpose and learn from it. And so I did a lot of different spiritual things at that time, to try to grow, meditate, praying, um, some, energy work with healers. And I did all this beautiful stuff. And I realized that I had all this stuff packed, all these emotions packed in, that were not serving me anymore. And I needed to figure out how to release them. And I was able to release a lot of those emotions with the help of my providers, but also me learning how to let things go. And so that healing process was a major life changer for me. So I just feel like the body it just speaks volumes. And if you don't listen, it'll scream at you. I mean, that was, it was telling me a long time ago, and I'm like, I got this.
Yep.
And then eventually it's like, I can't do anything. So I'm listening now.
Yeah. No, that's incredible right there. And
Yeah.
I think everyone has that story in their life. And I know I have, where, you could be moving down a path in life that you think is, the right path, or you never really know if it's the right path and anything. And then life completely knocks you off your course, and it's giving you, and you think at the time, for that matter, woe is me, how could this happen? And then a light bulb goes off, and it's that dark night of the soul, for that matter, the Crucible, where you're sitting there and you have a chance to either continue down the path that you've been on and just kind of try, like, get through it, or you use it and you're realizing, oh my goodness, I have all this time, I need to better myself. My body is telling me something. My soul, my spirit is telling me something. My mind is telling me something, for that matter, with how it connects to us. And it's just pushing you in the direction of time for a change, time to step into a greater level, a greater version of yourself. And Jamie's been through that. And I'm emphasizing this because I know everyone watching this has been through that or is going through that. And like we said at the beginning, Jamie's been through so much, which is why she's able to help people through it. And if that's you, and you're a woman looking for that support or that coaching, Jamie is going to be the one to go to. I can already feel that right now.
And it's so funny. I mean, that is just such like the secret. One of the secrets to life, I believe, is being able to be faced with turmoil or some sort of hard-hitting situation, and being able to look at it, take a step back, and saying, how am I going to grow? It feels completely different. And I know, I mean, there's some horrible situations out there. And I'm not saying that I could do it in some of those, but just kind of keeping that in the back of my mind as I go day to day, it's just puts a whole different outlook on life. And it's beautiful to be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I always try to see the lesson in everything.
Yes.
And when you realize there's a lesson in everything, it does take the edge off. It's like, all right, as much as it could stink that something's happening, there's a reason something's happening. And probably 10 times out of 10, I'd probably say 100 times out of 100, it's leading to something better for yourself. And
Absolutely.
if people can open their minds up and realize this about what they're going through, life begins to have a joy to it, and life begins to have an ease to it. Yes, there's still hard times, there's still tough times, but you can get through it with a peace that helps you get to the next stage. And when you get to the next stage, you look back and like, wow, I gained so much strength. That didn't even take me down. And it's one of those aha moments, like, I can do this. I can live this life. I can be empowered. It's incredible.
Yes. Amazing. I totally agree with you. I love it.
It's awesome. That's awesome. But one final question before we close this out, Jamie. What is one lasting, empowering, positive message that you want people to have in general, but also if they come to see you?
I just want people to know that they are worthy. I mean, that is one of the most limiting beliefs. I've had it. You are worthy. You're worth it. It's time. The time is the present to start taking care of yourself. And, I just want everyone just to live their best life. And I'm starting to live mine, and it feels amazing. And I just want to kind of spread this on. So I think I just want people to know that they are worthy, and just do not forget that you deserve all the love, all the happiness, and all the light in the world. So
phenomenal. I love it.
Yes.
Perfect. No, we are worthy. We are.
Absolutely.
I'm going to put Jamie's website at the end of this, but Jamie, tell us, where can we find you? Tell us your website, tell us Facebook for that matter. Like, where do you want people to come to see you?
So please come to my website, jamiegorrono.com. There's many links. You can get a hold of me. You can email me. You can set up a time to meet with me. And I'm happy to do it in any way. I'm very flexible, and I just want to make people comfortable, and and at ease, because I think that's important when connecting. I have a Facebook page, Jamie Gorrono Coaching, that I'd love for you to come and like. Also some women's only Facebook pages that you can learn more about through the coaching page, which I'll put like daily little tasks or activities that you can do on your own to kind of start working in that direction. Because sometimes people aren't sure. It takes some time to figure out, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the transition? And that's totally okay. It's every time, whenever it's your time, it's the perfect time. So it is okay. So just love to support in any way that I can. And you can message me on Facebook as well. And we love to respond and talk to anyone. And I'm just super excited. So, and really excited to be on your show.
I appreciate you making the time for it. No,
Absolutely.
I think this is a great message. I'm so happy that people get to see what you bring to the table, because I know that this is something so powerful and that people need more and more. So I thank you so much for being here, Jamie.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Perfect. That's awesome. But guys, like Jamie said, go to her website, go to her Facebook page. You're going to see it in the credits in about 2 seconds. But as always, like this message. Let's hit that thumbs up button below. Share this to someone. If you know someone that's struggling with just something we clicked on this, or we said a message and someone popped in your head, I believe there's a clear-cut sign that they need to see this message just as much, because they're in need of that help. Or if you're a woman or someone you know of a woman that is in need of some coaching, or is going through a transition, or has those feelings of unworthiness, as I said, Jamie is the one to go to. Please check out her pages, guys. And as always, hit that subscribe button. Let's get that number up. We want to help as many people as we can. That's once a week's goal. Please subscribe. And if you or anyone you know is in need of a life coach, you've got Jamie here. And then if you're looking for me, go to billygLifeCoaching.com and you can set up a free consultation with me, a free strategy session, and we can dive into whatever it is. But guys, I thank you for tuning in. And Jamie, once again, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well. Thank you.
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it.